Matthew here from MiniWarGaming.com, and in this video I want to show off the Frontline gaming mats. Now before I go any further, this is kind of a sponsored video in the sense that Frontline Gaming has been awesome in sending us all the mats you've seen in our videos. Actually, they have sent us for free, in exchange of course for showcasing them in our battle reports. Now we've already showcased them a ton, but I figured that it was time for us to make a dedicated video just to show you the advantages of using their mats and the variety of things that they have available. So at any point, you can go check them out at frontlinegaming.org. And they have different stores now for different locations throughout the world, so shipping is available worldwide. And so just at the beginning of our conversation with Frontline Gaming, I can't remember if they contacted us or we contacted them, I really don't remember. But I think it was them contacting us saying, can we send you some mats and then you show them off in battle reports? And I was hesitant because I never like to promise anything, because if I don't like the product, then I don't want to endorse it. And so we went back and forth for a little bit, and then I said, you know what, they look like they're going to be good, so send them, and I'm sure we can get them into a couple videos. Well, little did I know that we'd eventually just be using them and not even our other gaming tables. Now, our other gaming tables exist as a way to put these mats down for our battle reports. And they have been awesome in so many ways. First off, they are designed kind of like a mouse pad material. Actually, it's exactly like a mouse pad material. It is like one giant mouse pad. And that gives you a lot of advantages. I've seen other table mats. In fact, we've even used other ones that are all cloth, for example, or ones that are almost like a plastic or a poster type thing. And those ones, if you don't store them right, they get creased, they get wrinkled. If you spill water on them, they're usually destroyed. And they just don't, and they reflect a lot, whereas these are less reflective, and so they're better on camera, at least for our purposes. But the nice thing about these is that when I go like this, I put it down and I try to fold it, you don't really notice a fold. Now, if I had put this down, put something heavy on it, walked away for a few days and came back, of course there would be folds in it. You can still destroy these, but it's a lot harder. You can also pour water on these and they will not soak in. So it is totally water resistant. We've used these in a lot of videos, and so far we haven't noticed any wear and tear. The biggest thing I can say is that after we store them, if we haven't used them for a few days or a couple weeks, they have a slight curl on the end, but that even goes away as soon as we've used them for just a little bit of time. And so they're awesome. I can wholeheartedly endorse these mats because they have been so good. Now, there are some disadvantages. One of the disadvantages is that certain terrain doesn't look good on them. You could say that for any table, even one that you custom build, but at least with custom built tables, you can make bases of trees match the table, whereas this obviously doesn't match. Now, maybe there's a solution where we could buy the mat and start cutting out circles and sticking on the base for the trees. But obviously for the individual consumer, or for yourself basically, who aren't getting these for free, or doesn't have the budget of a business, or you just have your own private budget that you're already using to buy models, that's clearly going to be a little too expensive. And so the cost as well is they're not super cheap. I think with shipping you're looking at probably less than $100. I think, I honestly don't have the price on the top of my head, but don't look at this as being just a $20 or $30 mat, because I know you can find other gaming mats for that cheap that are just the cloth ones. These are more expensive, and then shipping is a little more expensive because they are large, and so that just costs more postage. Now they've tried to circumvent that by having them available in different areas. The other disadvantage, of course, and just actually going back to the terrain, so you can see the best terrain is stuff that doesn't have a base. And so it just sits on it and it can match just nicely. And things like this and your ruins and rubble, all of that work better. But we make do with what we can and are always trying to build more terrain that will then suit these tables. So there's that. They do store up nicely though. You can just roll them up and they take up next to no space. So if you're just buying them for your basement, it's an easy way to have a variety of tables, or even just one nice one without having to worry about storage. The other disadvantage is that they don't have a ton of designs. And by a ton, I mean they have less than 100 designs. And this is for people like me who get bored of things really fast. But in essence, they actually have the most designs available on the marketplace. And they have them available both in 6x4, and most of them are also available in 4x4. For example, we have this forest one. This is why I only put terrain on half of it, so I could show you these other ones. Then we have this really nice road one, so it's a ruined city. So it's overgrown with green. And they designed it so this is actually 12 inches. So if you're doing dawn of war deployment, you don't even have to measure out your deployment zone, so I really like that. They've got space ones. These ones they're beautiful. They're not that great for camera because when you're playing things like X-Wing and you have a guy right on here, or a fighter, then it does get lost in the details a little bit, but the only way that you can get around that is by having a plain black mat with just a few stars on it. And then they have this crater one. We have a winter one, which is really cool. You can see the camera instantly went a little dimmer there. So I always had to do a manual correction for that. There's another city one. This one's more on a diagonal and it has a center area as well. And you can see all of these at frontlinegaming.org. And then there's our personal favorite, the one that you see the most, is this barren wasteland one. The reason it's our favorite is because it's so simple that it matches most of what we're trying to do. So we love them all, and not just because they sent it to us for free, but because they actually are really useful. And we've gone through a lot of iterations of the tables that we have used, and this is by far my favorite that we've been able to do. Also, a little bonus, feels nice in your hands. When you roll dice, actually let me grab some dice. Grab some dice. Got some D20s here, but that's the closest thing. When you roll dice, like listen to that. Just feels nice. And look, see how I picked them up? They just scoop right up. Whereas your textured tables, the more traditional thing, if you rub your hand along it, obviously it's going to be a little more like sandpaper. Get your knuckle off on it. Sometimes that can hurt. Depends how coarse of sand you use. And so we like how they roll as well. A lot of our volunteers that come in for battle reports are surprised by how well the dice roll. Sometimes they roll a little too far because they're not used to it. They have to throw a little harder to make sure they do roll, but it's just nice. So dice roll nicely on the table. I look at that as a bonus because, you know, it's okay if the dice are still rolling on the other tables as well. So it's just a nice feel. It looks great and it feels great. It stores well, and the price isn't even that bad when you really consider the cost of making your own table. It's not that much more to have these mats, and they're way more durable and portable and storable than you'll have with all of your stuff. So go ahead, go to frontlinegaming.org, or you can just click the link in the video description below to check them out, to see all the different mats they have available. They are coming out with new designs. We have a couple of them here, but I'm not showing those in this video just because I don't think they're available yet. So you'll just have to wait and see as they deliver more designs. So check them out, and happy wargaming.